Hello everyone and welcome back to another video here on Sam's Crafty Castle. I'm so excited to be starting to bring you some fun fall content. I'm hoping I have like 3 or 4 videos filmed already for the next upcoming little chunk of time. I'm actually almost about ready to start switching into Christmas mode from fall mode. So hopefully I'll have some stuff to keep us going for a while here, because I miss making videos for you guys. Whenever I stop for a while, I always miss it. So I'm excited to have some things done for you. So this is a card that I made I'm trying to figure out the right way to say this, was quite the adventure, we'll put it that way. I feel like all of my cards are turning out this way lately, and I don't even know what to say about it, honestly. This one was supposed to, originally, the plan was to do coloring on glitter paper. There are certain types of glitter paper you can use your alcohol markers on, and it's really fun. And I wanted to do that, except I started prepping because I was going to film like 3 or 4 videos in one day because I had all these ideas and I wanted to film them all. And I started to pre-stamp and cut some stuff because none of them really, you didn't need to see any of the stamping and cutting part of it, and some of it was getting cut on my scan and cut and all that kind of stuff, and I ended up not stamping them on the glitter paper because I forgot, because I had my regular old G&K Designs heavyweight white out to stamp everything else on for the other cards, and entirely forgot to grab the glitter paper for this one. So that was my first thing. Second thing, I had this brilliant idea of doing these rainbow flowers. After I did this other card using the same stamp set, which is the Zen Flower stamp set by G&K Designs, I was like, I want to do these flowers rainbow. And I had this vision of it being like a rainbow across. So like red on the end and then violet, purple, whatever on the other end. And then I tried to do that, and instead only managed to make it through the warm part of the rainbow and ended up getting really confused halfway through, because I will admit, whenever I sit down and make these videos, it's usually because I have some kind of an idea in my head but absolutely no idea how I'm going to execute it. Like, I know where I want to end up, and sometimes I know how to get ready to start, like in this case, you know, grabbing all the markers, cutting all the flowers, I knew what stamp I wanted to use. Half the time though, I don't know how I'm getting from start to finish, and you watch me figure it out on camera. And that's why my videos are always super sped up, and that is why there's a lot of times a lot of editing, because sometimes it takes me a couple tries to get it even close to right, and I just want you all to remember that. I promise even your most favorite YouTubers and crafters and all that kind of stuff very rarely get it right on the first try. And I try to remind myself of that every time I have a situation like this. Like I said, I feel like it's been happening a lot lately. I don't know if it's been happening a lot to anyone else, but to me, it definitely feels like it's been happening a lot. So this is actually the second flower I'm coloring right now in the video. The first flower, I deleted the clip for, so you don't get to see that one, but that's okay, because I don't think you really needed to watch me color all 3, and you'll get both techniques that I ended up using from the 2 flowers that we have left. So this is the middle-sized flower, and after I tried coloring the big flower first, because I thought that would be the easiest to like try to get this rainbow effect and get it figured out, except it didn't work. I only got through about half the rainbow before I started to realize I had an issue, and then I started to get confused and couldn't figure out how I actually wanted to get to this end vision that I had. So I kind of abandoned it, and then this ended up being, or I didn't abandon it, I finished it. I only got halfway through, and then I tried coming up with something else. So this was my something else. I decided that instead of making it go like a line, like the rainbow, like a line across the flower, if you will, I would do more of a swirly in towards the middle until you got to the, you know, the purple part in the middle. But that didn't work out so well either, and I think I just kind of got confused again. These ones are pretty detailed in the centers, and I think my brain was having trouble, really hard time sectioning them off. Usually whenever I color something, I'll kind of section it off into pieces, and look at like each piece individually, but for some reason this day my brain was just having a really hard time doing that, and then also trying to get to the rainbow goal that I wanted to accomplish. And this is what we got. So like there's a big purple blob in the middle that is the center, because like I said, all of a sudden I got to the center and I couldn't figure out how to section it off. My brain couldn't make sense of what I was looking at. So it still works out fine. It comes out, I actually do really like how the card came out in the end. Like by this point I'm starting to realize, like when I'm filming this, I'm starting to realize that it's not going to work the way I want it to, and I'm going to end up with a situation, and I'm starting to probably get a little frustrated. I did film this a while ago, so I'm not 100% sure I remember exactly what was going through my head, but I have a feeling, knowing me, that I was getting a little frustrated. But I was like, nope, just keep going. Just keep doing it and see what happens in the end. And in the end, I remember finishing this video and being like, wow, I'm really surprised it actually kind of worked. Like, it came out a lot better than I expected. I still don't love it. But it does come out quite a bit better in the end than I would have told you it was going to be at this point. So I'm just finishing up here, and then I did want to give some tips for coloring a rainbow like this. That's another part of the video that is gone from that clip I deleted, where I went through the whole idea of the blending of the rainbow. See, okay, even now watching the video back, I'm like, that really doesn't look as bad as I thought it I thought it did when I first made it. It's growing on me already. So then I want to talk about like doing the ink blending kind of thing. And some of these tips can go interchangeably for Copic marker coloring or ink blending or even colored pencil coloring. So there is no rule that says two colors can't blend together. Now sometimes, yes, they're not going to get along and they're going to make a really weird color at the line where they blend. But for the most part, you can get around that. It's, if you're really nervous about it, always go in rainbow order, because if you go in rainbow order, they will all blend together nicely. But you can skip colors and make some cool things happen sometimes. But my tip is to step through as many colors as humanly possible when you do something like this. And this would be a tip for any time. Like if you're trying to blend purple and yellow, because purple and yellow don't usually get along when they mix. They're complementary colors. That's a whole color theory thing. And they don't usually like each other. We'll just put it that way. But if you step through enough colors in the middle to get from purple to yellow, you can get from purple to yellow. You just have to step through the right colors in the middle. And this is the same thing here. So I didn't only use like my R markers and my G markers and my B markers and my V markers, like all the primary colors, if you will. Primary, secondary colors, your rainbow colors. I used my yellow greens and my yellow reds and my blue violets and all that kind of stuff. So for every R, Y, G color, I have, a YG or a YR or a BV or BG, the blue greens. I have something in between there that will step through that. So the other part that's missing from this video, because it's in that clip that got deleted, is a little thing that could help you in this situation, especially if you're trying to do this with your alcohol markers. If you check out Sandy Allnock, if you you probably know who she is. Check out her hex charts, because that's really helpful for something like this. It helped me to figure out, okay, what's close by that I could use to step through to get to my next color. Like, especially like the yellow into the green, having a YG color in there is super important. So I already finished it because I was talking about other things. But that was the kind of warm rainbow flower that I did. And I colored that one the exact same way I colored the first one. So I started with the red on one side, and then I did orange, and I colored in part of the orange petals. And then I did yellow, so I colored in a little bit of the orange on the bottom of the red, blended that out, and then went around like 4 petals on each side, and then did the tips of those orange, and then did the yellow. And I actually I do like how that one came out more than the full rainbow one, both of the warm colored ones. But if I hadn't had that rainbow one in the middle, the card would not look as cool as it does at the end. And I don't think the way it ended up would have been as awesome. Because I didn't really have a card design. All I knew I wanted to do was rainbow flowers for this video. And I was going to figure the rest out as I went. So I didn't know what I was going to do at the end and how the card would come out. But I'm so happy with how the card came out. I have to send it to a friend of mine. I mean, hopefully by the time you're watching this, I've already sent it. But I also know myself well enough to know that I probably won't have sent it. I'm just going to call myself out on that now. So if I'm watching this video back next week after I post it, send the card. Hopefully that'll remind me. So I did the leaves in the cool rainbow, which when I first realized my full rainbow flowers weren't going to work, I was like, oh, I should have done the warm colored flowers and then the cool colored leaves. Like, that would have been a really cool situation. So I still went with the cool color on the leaves, or the cool toned rainbow on the leaves. So now I think that's pretty much it for the technique part of this video, and we're gonna get into putting everything together. So I ended up this is the part where I was like, I don't know what I want to do. So I grabbed this black card base because I have a bunch of colored card bases in a drawer next to me, and I was like, let's do something with this black because these flowers are really bright. And I started to try to lay them out. And this is what I mean, like the flowers are bright, so they really stand out nice with the black, but with the fully rainbowed one in the middle, it kind of makes that one pop out a little bit more, but I also hid it behind the smaller one just to hide it. Then I was looking for a grading, because you need a grading of some kind somewhere. I mean, you don't. I make cards all the time that don't have gradings, so I can put something on them later, but I wanted to put one on this one because it needed something. And I found this new stamp set. This one's from this year. It's called Thank You Greetings. It's also by Gina K Designs. And there's a greeting in there that says, like, making my days brighter or something like that. Or maybe that came from the Zen Flowers one. I don't have those in front of me anymore, so now I don't remember what that came from. But I was able to use, Emily illustrated this stamp set. She has a bunch of thank yous in there, like different styles of thank yous. So I was able to use that, and then it says, thank you for making my days brighter. Because I thought with the bright flowers, that was appropriate. And I also got brave, because, fun fact, you're going to hear me talk about this a few times in upcoming videos, because I got brave. I don't love heat embossing. It is one of my least favorite techniques ever, probably. Because I just feel like I can never do it right, and I always mess it up. And half the time it's my fault. It has nothing to do with anything other than, I don't know if I'm just not patient enough for it or what. I love the way it looks, but I'm just bad at it. And, you know, it is what it is. I'm just not good at it. I can admit that. But I was in the mood to heat emboss some stuff, so I was like, we'll try it. And plus, I knew I wanted to do, I love the look when people like white heat emboss sentiments on black cardstock. I knew I wanted to do that with this You Make My Days Brighter greeting, and I really, really wanted to make this happen. So I did, and it came out really well, which gave me a whole lot of confidence to try it on some other cards. You're going to see it's not going to go as well, but I'm going to do it anyway. just watch over the next couple weeks. Almost every card I've done recently has had some kind of heat embossing on it, because I was trying to recreate the results I had on this card, and I never got that lucky again. But this one came out really, really well, so I'll take that as a win. And, I just think I might have figured out why. I don't think any of the other ones I stamped twice. This is probably the only one that I actually stamped the embossing ink twice. And I wonder if that's my missing piece. But that doesn't matter right now. So I used both Versamark and Gina K Designs embossing ink. I think I need to re-ink my Versamark pad. I think my Versamark ink cube, I think it's getting a little dry. So I ended up using my Gina K Designs embossing ink too, just to try to figure it out and see. I actually used them both. And I just need to re-ink all my stuff, I think. Now I'm just going to heat it up. So the black is actually VersaFine ink. I don't even know if they make that anymore. I think they rebranded into something else, but I don't know. We'll figure it out together. And I just did that in clear embossing powder so that the thank you part kind of matches the look, if you will, of the for making my days brighter. This brush is a brush I got years ago. It's meant for glitter, but I like to use it to get all of my powder dust tool off. Anything that's left over, it works really well to get that off. And then I'm just going to glue everything down. I don't really think I have anything else to say. I am going to move things around a little bit from what you saw earlier because I never keep track of where I put stuff. And like you can even see me going, oh wait, I don't actually know where any of this goes anymore. Like I get so like I lay it all out and then I get so excited and then I forget to pay attention to where it goes. And then I end up just having to figure it out all over again. So I'm pretty sure it looks nothing like what I originally intended to do. Yeah, it doesn't, because that was totally flip-flopped around, and yeah. But it's still like how it came out in the end. Like I said, I was so shocked at how well this came out when I was done. Especially, like I said, getting frustrated, very, very frustrated, like at the beginning, doing the coloring part, and being like, this is gonna look so dumb. But it doesn't, and that is the lesson for this video. If this video has a lesson, I think that's it. It's just stick it out. Stick it out till the end. I'm going to talk about this again in my next video too, because it's another one where it's like, just stick it out to the end. It's going to be fine. So just remember that when you're crafting. Don't always give up in the middle. Sometimes the best thing you can do is stick it out and see what you get in the end. And if it doesn't work out in the end, as Gina K always says in her lives and stuff, or maybe not always, but I've heard her say it, it's just paper. It's nothing earth-ending. If it doesn't work out in the end. It's very much been something I've been trying to drill into my brain in the craft room, and I want to get a sign someday for my craft room that has that Miss Frizzle thing about getting messy and making mistakes, that quote from Magic School Bus. I think I want to hang that up in my classroom someday, or in my craft room someday. So this is it. Pictures. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below, and I will see you again soon. Have a crafty day.